Hey everybody, Hat Creature here. So this is a special, different video than I normally do. Usually I come up with my own opinions and my own changes, but my tiny community, you wonderful, beautiful people who watch my videos, this video is actually inspired by one of you guys. Going by Stars or Asterisk, been around for a while. And after watching my Kashima video, they came up with some changes to kind of help the game as a whole instead of focusing on just one aspect. This video will be general changes to survivors, but even though I am a Mastermind main, I do play both sides. I am not biased. I do not want one side to win all the time. I do want everyone to have fun, so I will be making a video with Mastermind changes as well. We just came up with Survivor first, because, you know, this is inspired by the Kashima video. So, what do we have? What are the changes? There's actually quite a bit, and I love all of them. In my initial opinion on all these changes, it feels... It really feels like an RPG. It really feels like it gives all the characters more depth. They're not outright nerfs, they're just general changes and quality of life that enhance the characters we enjoy playing. So they're not just outright nerfs. I'll call it. I love all of these. Anyway, here we go. So the first thing, these things would get deleted from the game, just outright taken out for one reason or another. Now, while I said the Kashima could be changed, they want the Kashima just outright gone. And that was, you know, something I would like. So, there you go. No Kashima. The other one is actually Valerie's Yellow Herb Boost passive. That is... No, sorry. Do you even play the game? That one. So, enhances the effects of yellow herbs and enhancing sprays for Valerie. That one would get outright taken away, because it, like a lot of abilities, this one can get abused as well. I should probably just select it. Get abused as well. It makes her incredibly difficult to kill despite having the lowest health, and you know, she can get everybody up off the ground. So if you have a hard time killing Tyrone, this makes it hard time killing her. And I've seen this as well. I've played against people who have found a way to just outright make this skill ridiculously overpowered. And that's beautiful. That's why it's got to get taken away. Next up is movement speed equipment, like the army boots and such. So speedrunning in a game where 75% of Mastermind builds are creatures, being able to run really fast just outright robs the Mastermind of their greatest strength. Not the bioweapon, but just normal creatures. If you can run right past them and run right through them, and they can't catch up to you because they're really slow, it just kind of makes it too easy for survivors, and way too difficult for the Mastermind. The Mastermind can't do anything about that. Yeah, sure, they can run speed equipment too, but they don't know if you are. So, and Berserk by itself is just fine. That's not overpowering. Amplifying the speed beyond, you know, most proportions, that is. So no more speed equipment, that goes too. Next is actually the... is it down here? Yeah, it is. The USB drives. I don't even know why this is in the game. It was probably here for Spencer. These need to go because if you're not running against a Spencer with defense system, Area 2 is just ridiculously easy for survivors. Sure, the Mastermind's supposed to get stronger, but Area 2 is just a breeze because of the objective alone is easier. If the Mastermind can't compensate, well, then there is no Area 2. You don't need the USB drive. I have never used one because I don't need them. The security devices are good as they are. They don't take long at all. So they have to go to make it fair. Next up is the durability cost equipment. It can easily be abused by Tyrone, and that's really it. Lucky Charms. I like Lucky Charms. But one of the biggest things that Masterminds, and I can confirm when I play Survivor, is that the economy is too easy for survivors. They're, yeah. Getting credits all over the place, I get it. Getting credits for completing objectives, that's good. Everybody having the ability to amplify how many credits they get can be a bit much. You can easily get 1,000 credits, and depending on your build, you won't even use it all. So these things would have to go. Now, that may sound bad, but don't worry. There are other changes as a whole, not just for survivors, but for the economy as well. So while the Lucky Charms would be said to get taken away, the economy would be changed as well to compensate for not being able to increase it. Next is actually camera lockdown for January. So this is an interesting ability. It's... I don't really use it because it's very situational, and that's actually what they said as well. And that's a con in itself. You should be able to use it in every situation. If it's too situational, then why even run it? I myself always use instant. I don't use malware because it's overpowered, in my opinion. And I don't use lockdown because it's situational. I can always use instant. When do I need lockdown? Well, if they have cooling fans, if they're using trap builds, but it's mostly creature builds. So I don't really have the situation where I actually need to use lockdown. In fact, a lot of times when I use lockdown, I wish I had instant. So this would get replaced with something else, just like Valerie's skill would get replaced. Lockdown would be completely changed. Oh, that's camera lockdown. Wait, is this actually... Oh, wait, really? This one? Oh, okay, the wording is just different. EIS lockdown. So, it... What was it? Not fun for the user or the receiver. Very unengaging. That's the part I like about this change. It's very unengaging. It's not fun. See, this, you know what this does. This increases the cost. This, it's very situational. I hate it. But it's obvious that this is working. This, on the other hand, while this is for elevators and doors, you never really see it working. You never know that if you used it, it was the right time. There are moments that you use this and it just doesn't help you at all. So this would get changed, like, the function. It's changed to be more engaging. So the change would help it benefit you in more situations. So you wouldn't have to use just this one. I would say... Oh, wait a minute. Wait, is this the one you were talking about? Or are you talking about this one? Okay, you know what? I don't know which one he's actually talking about. Wait a minute, what? Camera lockdown? What the hell is this called? Oh, you know what? My bad. My bad. The whole time, it was this one. It was this one. I thought he was talking about this one. Because there's 3 things that have lockdown in the title. So this is the one that gets changed. My bad. This one also gets changed. So, yeah, you still have EIS lockdown. Anyway, moving on. Becca. What we got? Oh. Both of Becca's critical rate boosting passives. That is... this one? Critical rate. I'm not actually sure which one he's talking about. They're inferior to Eagle Eye, and open up some room for Becca to do something other than just damage. Okay. I'm not quite sure which one it was. This one. Oh, escalation. Yeah. So I never use this one. I personally always use this one, or if I'm doing something weird, I'm using this one. This one makes sense. You use it for 10 seconds, you get up faster. This one, the longer you're in it, the more damage you do, but the problem is you're stuck in place. So it would get changed because this would have worked in the early days, but this game is more fast-paced, and you're stuck in this stance. You're stuck in this crouching mode, and you have to stay in it for a very long time. And in a game where everything's going by really fast, that's a problem. That's why this one's good, because you're only in it for, a small amount of time. You're only in this one if you want the stun, if you want the debuff. This one, you have to stay in it, so this is the one that would get changed. And then I believe the next one is actually for Jill. Is it this one? Master lockpicking. Too easy, too safe to abuse. I read that completely backwards. Too safe, too easy to abuse. And then the other one is Marksman. Oh, this one. Yeah. I personally don't like any of Jill's skills. Jill's in a bad place, but this kinda helps Jill. So, Marksman has the same problems as Sentry Stance. You're forced to stand still for too long in order to get your maximum damage. Now, I will say that out of all her skills, this is one of the best ones. I'm surprised the other ones aren't being changed, because this is just a variation of that one. And this is just different. Anyway, so all the things I just said, it took this long, those are the things that would get deleted or switched out. So now we will be going over several of the characters, and we'll be going over specific changes to those characters. The first one is Valerie. So because her yellow boost passive was taken away, it gets replaced. Her new passive is called Radar. Radar increases the time creatures, cameras, or traps stay marked by 50%. So this one would automatically, boom, influence this one. So whether using creatures, traps, or cameras, the new radar boost would increase the duration for all of these. And I think that's a great skill, because it doesn't last that long, but now you can make it last that long. But there is also a downside. There is a tiny bit of a nerf, followed by a buff. Scans no longer give 20% extra damage. I believe it's 20%. So you can use the scan more often, you can use the scan longer, but it will not any longer increase damage on those targets. And I think that kind of hurts the character, but she has other things coming her way. What was it? Oh yeah, the buff is that all scan cooldowns reduced to 25 seconds. Scan glow lasts for 10 seconds longer. Ah, that's what it was. So while radar would increase the time scans are on, the damage would be taken away, but all the cooldowns for every single one would be reduced to 25, so you can use it more often. And the initial duration is increased by 10 seconds. So let's say this lasts for 10 seconds now. With the boost, it would last 20 seconds, and then with radar, it would probably last 30 seconds. That's a guess. That's just a guess. That's just the difference. So you won't be getting extra damage, but it'll be lasting longer, you'll be able to use it more often, and then radar pulse will make it last even longer. So that's just a boost. Next up is something I feel that really should be done. So the spray gun. It used to be good, but it doesn't heal infection. That's the problem. Why would you use this over this? If you get knocked out of this, you can't use it again. If you get knocked out of this one, or that one, you can always use it again. So this gets changed. This gets a buff. Spray gun now heals infection. And that makes it so much better. The next buff, which this spray gun really needs it, Valerie can cancel the spray gun early to refund 20% of the fever skill charge. If interrupted by a creature or a bioweapon or a trap and so on, it restores 20% of the fever skill charge. So if you get interrupted, you can't automatically use it again, but because you were interrupted or because you canceled it, you'll get it back faster. So basically, this buff to the spray gun is kind of like William's Fury skill. When he cancels it early, the cooldown is drastically decreased. And there you go. You can make a whole build centered around the spray gun. That's badass, man. Let's see. What was it? Oh, yes. What was it? Yellow healing spray. Okay, I personally don't understand this one. Yellow healing spray changed. So it doesn't have the yellow herb effect. It's changed to heal 50% less health, but also heal infection. I don't understand how that's a good buff. I don't know. So with this change, you're healing less, and it heals infection. That's a nerf compared to this one. It heals you, and it cures infection. This one has a shorter cooldown if you cancel it or get interrupted. This one is just bad. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. To be honest, if I were to change this one, enhancing, it would still have the yellow boost. Really, I would keep this as it is because it doesn't cure infection. With the change to this one, you now have two things that heal you in two different ways and cure infection. This one, on the other hand, does not cure infection, but instead boosts you up. So the downside is that everyone hates you for not curing their infection, but they have more damage resistance. So it's kind of like a catch-22. And I think it'd be an okay one to use besides the other two. You're just choosing not to have infection. I'll just keep it as it is, to be honest, in my opinion. Next up, January. Also, I know that this is all just me talking about it, not me showing it. If you do want to see it all written down, I can probably copy and paste, or Stars can do it, copy and paste the entire changes written in the comments below, and it'll be pinned so that you can read it as well. Anyway, let's move on to January, my favorite survivor. New fever skill, because this one gets replaced. Blackout. Flash effect all cameras for the skill duration. Controlling a creature will not remove the blind early. So, January is supposed to use EMPs. This increases the cost, this locks them out of locking doors. Now this one will blind the cameras. Now technically that means it blinds the cameras for 15 seconds. That's a lot stronger than Martin. Martin doesn't even blind you for 15 seconds, right? I think the duration should be, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That's a seriously powerful ability. Like you can't even, protect yourself from that. So all cameras are blinded and you can't get rid of it for 15 seconds. That's a powerful fucking skill. It should be increased. The base cooldown should be increased because it's so powerful. Next up, what we got? New skill, because this one is taken out. Game Changer. Disables the mastermind's currently controlled creature and prevents it from being recontrolled for 10 seconds. So basically, if you're facing a Daniel, January can finally be a counter to Daniel specifically. So with Game Changer, Daniel's coming at you, you use your R1 ability on the zombie, and it pops him out of the zombie. she's hacking into the creature that got hacked. A counter hack. That's badass. I love this skill. And that should have a cooldown. That should totally have a cooldown, or else it'll be overpowered. What was it? Cooldown. Oh, really? Back to this. Ah, the buff is that these first two skills. Holy shit! Are you serious? Dude, are you serious? So, okay. So this and... So, interference and blackout would be reduced to 150 seconds. Okay. I disagree with blackout, since it lasts 15 seconds. There's nothing the Mastermind can do about that. I'm pretty sure that Martin's initial flash baton ability that makes the flash baton last longer, I'm pretty sure that's not 15 seconds. So if that's not 15 seconds, and this one is 15 seconds, then this is more powerful than Martin, and it blinds all cameras on the entire map for 15 seconds, so there's nothing you can do about it. I think the duration, the cooldown should be increased, or decrease the cooldown and then lessen the ability. It would still be more useful than Martin, because it would affect all cameras on the map. That's my suggestion for that change. Next up is a nerf for Malware, because we desperately need it. Next up, Malware can only affect up to 2 cameras at a time. Using a third malware will break the first camera it was placed on. So you malware one camera, you malware another camera, boom. If the Mastermind doesn't break any of them, and you use malware again, the first malware wears off. So now it's a tactical choice, because you can only malware 2 cameras at a time. I think that's badass. No more of this cheese where you put malware on every single camera. That's why the skill's broken. So minimizing how many cameras you can actually use it on, that feels good. I would feel good about using this, because it's a tactical ability. You choose which camera is more important. This one or that one. The exit, or the biocore, or the security device? Which one's more important? I like that change. There are no changes to Samuel. He is in a weird place where if you nerf him, he sucks, and if you buff him, he's overpowered. He might need a whole redesign. I don't really have an opinion. I think he's in a fine spot. I think he's good where he is. I think he's where he needs to be. I don't see anything about his skills that are underpowered or overpowered anymore. I used to despise playing as Samuel, just as I despised, playing certain builds, just because of what Samuel was known for. I feel great about playing him now. I think he's fine. Next up, we have Tyrone. I actually don't remember this one. So, Tyrone's ultimate safeguard. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah, it's just this one. Oh, no. Wait. Tyrone's ultimate damage reduction reduced to 50% on all variations. Well, there's only one ability that uses this. The other one is a passive. Oh, no. This one. So I'm assuming this one, and Safeguard would be reduced to 50%. So it's not much of a win. But Tyrone's Safeguard now has a buff. Right? Okay, the wording here is a bit weird. My bad. Let's see. Tyrone's Safeguard variation makes survivors unable to be interrupted for the duration. So basically, the damage reduction is reduced to 50%, and survivors cannot be stunned from the security devices. They cannot be knocked back during the time. So if they're on a security device and a trap goes off, they will not get knocked off the security device. That is an incredibly powerful buff. and it's more useful, and it requires you to use it in specific situations. What was the next one? Tyrone kicking a door does not push him forward and into the room. Animation is slightly faster to offer safer door opens. That is as it is. I have no opinion, because I did not know that this was a problem. Next up, Martine. I think this is really interesting. So the shock mine. I really like a lot of these changes. I love them all. So Martin's shock mine stuns mastermind-controlled creatures for 50% of the duration. So basically, if Daniel's controlling a creature and he gets stunned with the shock mine, he gets stunned half as long as a normal creature. So let's say a normal creature gets stunned for 4 seconds. Daniel or Alex, anyone controlling a zombie, would get stunned for 2 seconds. So half the time stuns if you're controlling a creature. And to me, that makes sense, because you're not a zombie. You feel no pain. You do not feel pain. You should not be getting stunned at all, in my opinion. You're controlling something remotely. You're overpowering, you're transcending the flesh. So stuns like this shouldn't affect you as much as it does a normal creature that can feel pain. That's my opinion. Martin's Flash... What was it? Oh yeah, same thing with the Flash. The Flash, all the Flash variants, blind, mastermind-controlled creatures half as long. Let's see. Oh yeah, the shock mine also applies a new buff. I'm sorry, debuff. So while this gets nerfed for masterminds, it does get a buff in a different way. Let me scroll down to look at the buff. Here we go. Okay, so the shock mine buff is the shock mine deals 120% damage to creatures with regen. It deals 80% damage to creatures without regen. So it stuns them and it hurts them, and depending if they have regen or not, it'll hurt them more or less. So it's less about stunning them and more for damaging them. So there's a whole bunch of those regen builds where everybody's, has a high health creatures with regen on. This will kind of counter those high health regen builds where it deals more damage to those things that can regen. This also kind of counters the nerf to the shock mine against regen controlled zombies. So if you're controlling a zombie and you get shocked, you'll be shocked for half as long, but if you're using regen as well, you then take more damage. So it's a give and take on both sides, and I think that's beautiful. Oh, and there's also some lore in this one as well. G and C virus use body's natural cell growth to rapidly recover at cancerous levels, but generate massive heat in the process. The heat of electricity melts down their already overheated bodies. So that's the lore reason for why having regen makes them take more damage. It's basically overloading the body. It's more than it should be taking on, because it's already taking on so much. And that's it for Martin. Next up for Becca. This one I don't quite understand. I don't know what... Oh, yeah. Wait, which one? Okay, I'm not sure where this is supposed to go. I think this replaces escalation. It's called 6 Shooters. Equips Becca with a quick draw that has 12 bullets. 45-second cooldown. Basically, there's no animation for you to use 2 guns, like in any game ever, and that sucks. So instead of using 2 guns, you can pop out a quick draw that has 12 bullets. So I guess instead of going into your sentry stance, you just pop out a gun, you know, the quick draw, and that's free 12 bullets, and that has a cooldown. So this is kind of like Jill's Samurai Edge, but incredibly weaker because it's a normal gun. But it's still technically free ammo, and it has a large cooldown. And I think that's cool. And it fits with her lore because she is a ranger. Did you know that she was a park ranger? Did you remember that? I did. Still doesn't have an outfit to go with it. Next up, new passive over here. It's called Ranger's Fitness. Increases infection resistance by 25% and melee damage by 25%. So you can finally have a melee build with Becca. And I've been wanting that for a while, to be honest. I think that's great. Another new passive, since 2 of these skills are changed. It is called Rescue Party. Increases Becca's revive speed by 25% and applies yellow herb to revived teammates. Basically, another support character like Tyrone or Jill. So she can get people up a little bit... she can get people up a little bit faster, and when they get up, they have a yellow boost. Just like Jill, when she gets people up faster, they get more health. Yeah, and it makes sense with Becca. It makes perfect sense with Becca because she's a ranger. She's trained in these situations, unlike Martin, Samuel, January. They aren't trained. Becca is, but as she is right now, she's just a damage character. I'm surprised she's not a psychopath, because all of her skills just, you know, scream, kill, kill, kill. Next up, Jill. What have we got for Jill? New passive. Which one does this go for? Replaces precision. Thank you for writing that. New passive, Tactical Reloads. Increases Jill's reload speed by 20% with all firearms. That means she can use the Raiden better than everyone else. New passive, Super Cop. Increases the strength of Jill's Delta Force passives by 20% and consumables by 20%. This one? Ah, yeah. Yeah, it does. So it is this one. Okay. This is Delta Force. Super Cop increases the strength of Jill's Delta Force passives, the one down below, by 20% and consumables by 20%. Basically, to break it down, it would grant you 70% green herb healing, 50% yellow herb power, 50% increased reload speed for that other skill I told you about, and focus shots deal 2.2 times damage instead of 2.0. So yeah, basically, Super Cop would enhance anything down here. With tactical reloads, you'd be able to reload faster. Oh, wait, what's the one that changes Marksman? There isn't one. Okay. It looks like he missed one. Because he wanted to change Marksman and Precision. But anyway, yeah. So all of these would be increased. Even this one. So this would be increased by a whole bunch. Making her even more powerful to get the fucking rocket launcher. Next up, the rocket launcher gets a buff! No! The rocket launcher... Damage, wait. What? Hold on. The rocket launcher does more damage to biocores at close range. He said, it's genuinely sad that every weapon in the game can do more damage in a single clip than it can to a core. It was nerfed for core sniping, but based off the damage fall off the game uses, it should be allowed to do full damage at close range. Okay, I totally get that. Yeah, the rocket launcher was nerfed because you could snipe the core from far away, but the rocket launcher was intentionally decreased in damage, but there's also a damage drop-off as well. So while you can still core snipe, you do less damage to the core, but you're also doing even less damage if you're sniping. This would basically mean if you wanted to up close and personal with the rocket launcher, you can then do more damage. You still can't snipe with it, it's only for up in your face. And to be honest, I think that's okay. We have new items. I'm just gonna go here. We have new items. I already went over that. Wait, what? Oh. Okay, I don't have to talk about that. The torch. 50 durability per swing. Cannot be repaired. But you can buy it as much as you want. I don't know if that would be improving Pyrone or nerfing him. I guess we'll have to see. It has less durability, cannot be repaired. So your repair kits would be worthless, but your ability to increase weapon handling would be better. But you'd have to continually buy torches. There you go. Okay, here's the change to the economy, the one I was talking about. That is the only item? Oh, no. I am blind as hell. My bad. Here are the other new items. Combat knife. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Combat knife. 100 credits. Basically, this is Jill's ability. When you get grabbed and you have a combat knife, you can get out of the grab. Just like Jill. Putting Jill's ability completely worthless, though. Yeah. Yeah. But what about Jill now? What about Jill? Breakaway. This makes her skill completely worthless now. Anyway, shock receiver. Oh, sweet. How does this work? All bullets, oh, it's 100 credits. All bullets apply the shock debuff to creatures. Shock deals 150 damage every 2 seconds for 4 seconds. Yeah. So, basically, you can put shock damage on your bullets and finally use the alternating current and use shock weapons. That's awesome. And it would kind of be like the torch, where it does damage over time. But it wouldn't stun them. So, yeah, the shock receiver would be meta to the end of time. So does it run out or something? It doesn't really say. Yeah, it doesn't really say if it runs out or how it works. I'm assuming the shock receiver is something that you would actually put on the gun, so it's an item. So what I'm assuming is you would buy the shock receiver, activate the shock receiver just like you would activate an herb. Or you can combine the shock receiver to the weapon just like you can combine a repair kit to a weapon. And then I guess you would have a certain amount of shots with the shock receiver. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Next up, surprise item. For 50 credits, you will randomly buy anything. It might be ammo, it might be an herb, it might be a mup. Holy shit, the fucking insult. It might be a 2x4 or a molly. You never know. And okay, the economy changes. Okay, here we go. Economy changes. No more credit pickups, so you can't find them on the ground. Also, why Lucky Charms doesn't exist. Only award credits for completing objectives. Example, you pick up the keys, you return the keys, you get credits. You move to the next area, you get credits. Kill the security guard, you get credits. Unlock a terminal, credits. From area 2 to 3, credits. Destroying a biocore, credits. So you wouldn't be able to pick them up off the ground, but each objective you complete rewards your team with credits. So basically, this means that everybody will always get the same amount of credits, period. Everybody will have the same amount, the same pool of money that everybody can get. New players suffer a lot. This rules out a lot of the issues new players suffer. Credit pickups was a cool idea, but is too easy to grief and has proven too difficult for new players to figure out. Basically, they don't know to pick up money. They don't know how to pick up money, they don't know where the money is, and they don't know that it's important. And then by the time they figure it out, it's too late. And so this would help people who don't know that, because it wouldn't even be a thing anymore. Complete your objectives, you get rewarded. And that's basic gameplay in every gameplay. And once again, everything will be written down for all the characters. It'll be copy-pasted, basically. And it'll be pinned in the video. And that is all the changes. Quite a long video, I apologize, but I love all these changes. I think these changes are badass. Hold on. I love all these changes. It takes away some of the abilities that are either overpowered or are just not useful. A lot of times I feel that with characters, especially Jill and Samuel and Becca, they're either too focused or not focused at all. And so the builds I make when I play Survivor are really difficult to find something new. It's really difficult to combine abilities because a lot of the abilities don't affect the other ones. They don't complement each other. Or they're just brain dead, just damage. And different ways you can do damage, just like Sam and Becca. And if there's just different ways you can do damage, but they're not different enough for them to be rewarding or to ever change. With these changes, it basically changes everybody, and it rewards you for choice. Your choice is rewarded because you can finally change up your build and not feel like you made your build worse. You can finally use other skills and then be just as good as your other skills. You're not hurting your team by using something else. You're helping your team in a different way, which is what it should always be. Should always be. That's the biggest problem with Valerie's spray gun. This is a good ability. It has the lowest cooldown out of all of them. So you can get it back quicker, but it doesn't heal infection. So you're a loser, and you're just hurting your team by not healing infection. So you never use it. You use this one, because infection is where it's at. Boom. January. I personally don't like lockdown, because it's very situational. Now I can use the other skill, that I forgot what it was, and I won't feel like I'm worse off. I'm just destroying people in another way. Oh yeah, it would stop the Mastermind from controlling creatures. Very good against invincibility, Daniel. If there's a Daniel coming up, or anybody coming up who's controlling a creature, just use the ability, and you pop them out of it. You won't... And you can still destroy cameras with your gun. That's awesome. It's just a different way to play the game with each character, and I love that. And eventually there will be one for Mastermind changes. And hopefully it'll be the same thing. Outright deleting things, outright changing things. Instead of just outright nerfs, The goal is to amplify the gameplay for everybody. Balance everything out by making everything you choose fun. Everything that you choose can be countered by the other side. And that's what it's all about. That's how you balance things. Everything you do can be countered by the other one, and vice versa. So thank you, Stars, for making that really long list. I can tell you put a lot of thought into it. It looks like you've been thinking about it for quite a long time. Those are some in-depth changes. I used to do the same thing for Dead by Daylight, but I stopped because the developers are shit. But I do it over here despite the game being abandoned because I care about this game, and they might be coming back. So if you enjoyed the video, press that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, have a great day.